In the currency quadrant, take a look at the March Japanese yen, which had some weakness late today. The yen jumped to a 3-day high, but then fell back, barely holding on to positive territory on the day. That high today, 66.33, was up 1.15%. And the low today, 65.74 half, was actually a gap higher of 0.26% versus yesterday's settlement of 65.57 half. It's not a very impressive performance when an asset gives up that much from the high after gapping up and moving up toward those highs. Even the positive finish we end up with today does not look that positive on a chart that previously had 4 consecutive days of lower prices before this kind of price action. We did have good eco data last night out of Japan. Industry and manufacturing data from Tenkan was mainly stronger than expected. The change in the all big industry CapEx was plus 11.3%. That was versus expectations of plus 9.6% and a last release of only plus 10.6%. Also, the large manufacturing index for the fourth quarter came in at 14 versus an expectation and a last release of 13, so a little bit better there. Month-over-month industrial production was lower than expected, plus 2.8% versus plus 3%, but it was much higher than the last month's release of plus 1.6%. We also next week have a Bank of Japan rate decision, which will be the biggest news for the yen. Now, the majority of analysts think they will leave rates unchanged, especially coming into the end of the year like this with a new administration coming into the US, but there is still some talk and possibly some small hope that they will raise rates a little bit. It does seem like the market has been hoping for that the last 2 Bank of Japan meetings, and the BOJ just simply hasn't delivered. Japan has had persistent inflation data come in right around 2%, with some higher than that, but the BOJ has not provided any explicit guidance on the timing of the next rate hike.